So some of you might have gotten this email from Linn this week about space optimization technology that they say will apply to every Linn DS player, which will allow you to optimize for chosen speakers, to correct for their placement, and to adjust for the room's unique characteristics. Also, they mentioned something about BMW Exakt support, Exakt being the technology they've had for the last 12 months or so, and also support for all loudspeakers, the ability to apply space optimization to third-party speakers other than Linn. So when I got this email, I got quite excited, so I ran upstairs to our training room where we have a Linn Akudorik system set up to see what's what. So I powered up config, and this is what we got. So the first thing I noticed was that it asked me to update to the latest version of the software, Devar 26. I'm guessing that Devar 26 has the latest space optimization technology on board. The other thing I noticed is that on the top right hand side, where it used to say speakers and Exakt, it now says Exakt and space optimization plus. So if you click on the Exakt button, it actually takes you to what the old speaker page looked like. Yours will be a little bit different, obviously, unless you have the Exakt Akudorik system. But people that are used to the old Exakt software will see a very similar page. It tells you about the speaker, the firmware that the speaker has, the date you bought it, and it also allows you to test the channel to identify which one is actually left and which one is actually right. I should mention that Space Optimization Plus is only available on Exakt systems. The majority of Linn non-Exakt products will have only Space Optimization. When you click this tab, it's currently off, so I'll just turn it on. I think it comes off standard out of the box. It takes a few moments to actually configure and turn on. Those of you who have used the Exakt system before will know this. So there we have it. Now the first thing we notice is that it's visually different. The graphic extends much further across the screen, and it gives us much greater view of each of the individual room modes. If you click change room dimensions, again this is completely different to how it used to look like. The first thing we notice is there's a visual element to help you gauge where the speakers are in relation to the room as well as the listening position. On the right hand side is where you do all the configurations. So the first bit is room dimensions, where you enter in the length, i.e. the front to rear wall distance, the width, which is the left to right wall, and the height. You'll note that when you click on each of these dimensions, it actually gives you this little red line to help you know exactly what dimension you're measuring, just to rule out any errors that might occur. The second bit allows you to configure exactly what your walls are made out of, i.e. a concrete, or is it a partition wall. You can also add features such as double glazed windows, single glazed windows, and doors. And you can do this for the front, the rear, the left, the right walls. You can even set the floor material, so if it's made out of concrete or if it's a suspended floor, and the same can be done for the ceiling. The next bit is the listening position, so the distance from the front wall to the left wall, which was the same in the previous version. The next bit is the ideal tune gem position of the system. So you've listened to it, you found that this is where the speaker should go, and you've entered that information in. The bottom edge of the cabinet to the floor is actually a new dimension which wasn't present in the previous version of Exakt. Now the practical position is the position correction that was present in the previous version of Exakt that allows you to put the speakers where you wanted to put it. So once you put on all the information, you optimize, and then it gives you this graph here with all the base modes. Those of you who are familiar with the previous version of Exakt will know that there were tabs up here for furnishing and construction, as well as the placement. Now obviously we just went through the placement and the Exakt remote correction, but you'll find the furnishings tabs here for the base shelf and the treble shelf. You can even punch in your own custom filters if you really want to measure the room and get right down to the nitty-gritty, but for most users you probably won't need this. Those of you who have played with the previous version of Exakt will know that you're able to adjust each of the gains and frequencies for the room modes. But if you happen to forget what those ideal models were and you wanted to go back to the model, you couldn't unless you re-optimized the whole system again. The new system allows you to set it all to calculated or set it all to 0. Another cool feature is the save function. This allows you to save all your hard work. So you can punch in, for instance, I've done this one as training room, And if you wanted to load up these preset configs, you can do so just by hitting load and going back into your saved settings, in this case training room or test optimizations, which is one I did earlier. So the new updates look like they are pretty good. They've improved on all the small things that we found annoying about Exakt. If you have any questions, you'll find a contact link in the description below, and if you haven't got an Exakt product to play with, we're taking orders now. Thanks very much.